A Place in the Sun. Time now is 9:36 here on Kiwi.
You're safe now. I can take you from here.
Ben.
Jesus. We're on the wrong beach. We leave now. Give me 10 minutes, Joe.
The choir music might suggest that something sinister is afoot. And, well, it might be right. Set in the Channel Islands on the eve of D-Day, 2 Kiwi commandos sent to destroy German gun emplacements to distract Hitler's forces away from Normandy discover something nasty, something evil. The movie is called The Devil's Rock. It stars Craig Hall, who joins us on the line live from an airport somewhere this morning to talk to us all about it. G'day there, Craig.
Hey, how you doing?
Very, very good. Is this the first time you've strapped on a uniform for a movie?
Just trying to think. No, it's not. I've had a uniform on before. Yeah.
A military uniform?
In the Waterhorse, had a military uniform on, but this one was pretty cool. It was great to work with a bunch of people who were really sort of boffins in that area, and in terms of detail, it was pretty amazing. So
okay.
It was great.
Now, how factual is this, Craig Hall? Did this actually happen?
How factual? Absolutely, completely factual. Well, funny enough, I mean, I'm sort of joking aside. I know Paul did a lot of sort of research, and obviously, what the SBS soldiers, etc., did was absolutely, genuine in those missions, etc., and the fact that Hitler did have people researching occult type energies, So as far as that goes, it was absolutely true. And then obviously for a film, you kind of take that and you push it a little further,
Yeah, this is because I guess this movie follows a trend sort of in the past 10 years to take the Nazi thing, but don't do it in the traditional movie sense, but layer this kind of sinister undertone, this occult thing going on, or even as far as other movies have gone with zombies as well, or even taking them out into outer space. But this puts a whole kind of another spin on it, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it does. I mean, witchcraft was at work on the Channel Islands, and it's very well known for that. So I think Paul's been really smart in sort of basing it in places of real sort of truth. Yeah. And then obviously sort of taking it sort of a step further. But he's a huge horror fan, and he's made a film that I think a horror fan will like to watch. And, not only horror fans, but something that sort of will delight horror fans in terms of the material and the genres that come into it, and the effects and stuff. So yeah, I guess it's pushing it in a direction that's slightly different, which is always good. It's always good to see something original.
Now, I suppose that a challenge would be, though, to make a movie like this that is meant to be sent on the Channel Islands, but in fact make it here in New Zealand. Where was it done?
In Wellington. So we shot in Wellington. We had a couple of sets, a couple of interior sets, and then we shot out like Breaker Bay and the tunnels, and so a couple of outside locations, and then obviously Paul's background is special effects, so he's able to make the island look the real deal.
I suppose on some days there's not much difference between Wellington and the Channel Islands.
Well, there's a channel. It's on an island, and absolutely. Yeah.
Now, from what I understand, the film is also it's slightly claustrophobic, isn't it? I mean, it's not, there's not that many sets. It's all generally in the one space. So I guess the challenge as an actor, I suppose, is to be the actor, because you really are the one changing thing in the environment.
Yeah, absolutely, and and it's one of the sort of trademarks of low budget filmmaking, where you've got very little time to shoot the story. So there tends to be fewer sets, fewer actors, more dialogue, and so it becomes kind of character driven, which is always a nice thing for actors,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was certainly claustrophobic, and we spent a lot of time, in those two sets. You got to know them pretty intimately. But it was kind of nice as well because it kind of became your play space, which was cool. So hopefully it keeps the audiences interested.
More dialogue and more blood. How many litres did you lose?
That would be telling.
I suppose it would give away.
I lost a bit, but there was others that lost more.
Let's say that, because the special effects quite handy because Weta Workshop's just down the road.
Yeah.
Did you have to deal with any of the stuff that they were doing?
Not directly, but they were certainly a big part of making that happen, and. Obviously huge part of making that happen. But I got to see their handiwork on a day by day basis, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty amazing. There's very very skilled people there. So it's going to be exciting to see.
Now this movie's obviously going to be quite attractive to fans around the world who are really into this, low budget kind of horror sort of stuff. There's whole kind of websites dedicated to these sorts of films. So do you expect that this film might take you to some pretty strange places around the world?
Well, I think some of the guys have been doing a bit of that, going to different sort of festivals around the place and up in Europe and stuff. So. Yeah, certainly. I think it's right there on the radar with in that world. So and I think it's been received pretty well. So yeah, it's definitely horror's an interesting genre because there's such a huge fan base for it. So yeah, no, I think they've been doing some festival stuff. I haven't been able to go because I've been here in Australia. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the pictures and hearing the stories.
To me, it feels like it's paying respects to, and in fact, in the same sort of league of those sort of 80s horrors, horrors that you'd find on VHS in a section in the video store. Like in the past sort of 10, 15 years, Hollywood has had a good go at horror, but it's not really the same as that kind of, that low budget kind of gritty. Throw some blood around sort of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, it's certainly that, and being on set, having, mock-ups of, the bodies and the body parts and the blood and the demon being real and not CG and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it does really sort of hark back to that period in horror, and I think it's good, It just makes it more sort of visceral and kind of right there, and there's something about it that's very different to the way horror's been going recently. Yeah. So
at the end of the day, does your character deserve some kind of medal, some kind of valor recognition?
Well, yeah. I don't know. I'm sure that actually, the guys that did that stuff, absolutely. I don't know about my character. I'm not too sure.
That might give things away once again. Hey, Craig Hall, nice to chat with you, and safe travels wherever you be headed. And
cheers, man. Appreciate it.
The Devil's Rock is released tomorrow in New Zealand cinemas, so go and check it out. And also, you can go find the trailer up on YouTube as well. Thanks very much, Craig. Cheers.
Awesome. Hey, thank you. See you later.
See ya. Craig Hall there.